Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adesh, and I'm going to teach you something about digital SAT. Especially talking about digital SAT, I'll be talking about the portion of English in which mainly reading and writing test will happen, and you will be giving the test of English in terms of reading and writing. And I hope you are taking our math tutor's class, and he might be teaching you in a very nice way. So I will be just talking about English portion. In English also, I'll be talking about just reading and writing section. So before we begin with reading and writing section, I think our math instructor had also told you that it has got math and English portion. So I'll be also talking about same thing in a very brief way. Plus we'll be talking about what is SAT at the beginning. So before we go with the content, so at first I'd like to talk about what is SAT. What is SAT? You need to know what is SAT. Though you may not be asked what is SAT, but since you are learning about SAT, so it is the basic knowledge that I think you need to have. And SAT's full form is Scholastic Aptitude Test. And normally what happens in this test is designed to test students on reading comprehension, rhetoric and language use by having them engage with the academic and literary text. So there will be certain reading text, and according to the text there will be certain questions, and your reading comprehension, rhetoric skill and language use will be tested in this particular SAT test in English portion. So what is the difference between SAT and digital SAT? So the first thing I would like to tell you is from this 2023, especially in Nepal and other countries except USA, we must take digital SAT. We are not allowed to take paper and pencil based test. And in the USA, I think they are going to apply this from 2024 or upcoming year. But from Nepal or from other countries, if you want to take SAT, you must take digital SAT. There is no otherwise or but. So the first difference is, you can see the first difference is the test has totally gone digital. That means you must sit on computer and type out your answers, or you have to choose your answers. Particularly in SAT, you have to choose your answer by sitting on computer. You are not allowed to do reading and writing, or you are not allowed to write anything. So you can see what are the differences. So you can see there is the difference in digital mode of taking test. There is a bit difference in time also. There is difference in section structure also. And this test is also known as adaptive testing. So what is adaptive testing? I'll be talking about this later on. So these are some major differences that you find in digital SAT. So digital, time, section structure and adaptive testing. And some similarities are the scoring pattern is same. So I hope you know, or if you don't know, I'll talk about later on about scoring. So the scoring pattern is same, and no matter whether you are taking test on computer digitally, you still have to go to the center and you have to sit on the center and give a test. It is not like you are sitting at home and giving the test. So if you want to read what are the differences and what are the similarities, you can pause the video and you can just read what are the similarities and differences. And now I'll be talking about in detail about what are the differences and what are the similarities again. So as I already said, the main difference itself is the test has gone totally digital. As I already said, if you are comfortable with paper and pencil test, and then if you want to take paper and pencil test in terms of SAT, you are not going to get that particular way of taking test. You have to sit on computer and you have to do whatever you need to do in this test on the computer. So the first difference is the mode has totally changed. There is no paper pencil writing test. The only test you have to take is, or you have to face is through the digital mode. And the second difference is test section and time. So previously SAT had two different portions in English particular section. So there was reading separately and there was writing separately, but they have now combined reading and writing module or reading and writing test in the same section. And there is this another math section. And I hope our math tutor is telling you very well about math, because I don't know math, I can't talk much about it. So what I can say is now reading and writing section is merged into one. There is no two separate section, and this reading and writing lasts for 64 minutes, and math will last for 70 minutes. So total time is 2 hours 40 minutes. So the test has been shorter than the previous one. So previously we had to face the test for almost 3 hours. Now we have just 2 hours 40 minutes test. Reading and writing English portion will last for 64 minutes, whereas math will last for 70 minutes. And your test starts with reading and writing section. You cannot start with math. You have to do maths later on. Alright, so I think you are clear about the section. So there are two sections, reading and writing, one section, and the other one is math. And this reading and writing lasts for 64 minutes, whereas math lasts for only 70 minutes. So this is how the test is divided into two sections, and that is how the time is distributed in both sections. Now let's talk about all the differences. So now the test has turned into multi-stage adaptive test. So what does this mean? So what is multi-stage adaptive test? So multi-step adaptive test means the test has been divided into two modules. So in each section, in reading and writing as well as in math also, your whole test will be divided into two modules, and you have to test in two different modules. So now I'm going to talk about only English. I don't know much about math, so my concern will be with only reading and writing. So how this multi-adaptive test will happen? So you can see here. So the test has been divided into two modules, as I already said, module 1 and module 2. So module 1 and module 2. And okay, so we are talking about just reading and writing only. We are not talking about maths. We are talking about reading and writing. As you can see, two modules, reading and writing. So the test has been divided into two modules. The first module will last for 32 minutes. Similarly, second module will also last for 32 minutes. And in first module also, there will be 27 questions. In second module also, there will be another 27 questions. So there will be totally how many questions? So there will be totally 54 questions, and the total time is 64 minutes, as I already said. So there will be 54 questions. And now what happens in module 1? So in module 1, you are given a broad mix of easy, medium and hard questions. So there will be questions which will be easy, medium and difficult as well as. And in second module, students are given a targeted mix of questions on varying difficulties based on their performance in module 1. So this means if you do very well in this module 1, so you'll be getting comparatively more difficult questions in module 2. But if you have done not that much good, or if you have done not that well in module 1, so you will be getting comparatively easier question in module 2. So your questions of module 2 will depend on how have you done in module 1. So if you have done good here, so you'll be getting difficult questions, a bit difficult questions. If you have done not that much good, you'll be getting comparatively easier questions. So your performance decides what kind of question will come in module 2. And the other fact is, in past, every student used to get same question, but now since the digital SAT has arrived, so now every student will be getting different questions. So do not expect same questions as other students are getting. So I hope you understood what is module 1 and what is module 2 in this case. So again, I would like to tell one thing. So let me recap. So your test, reading and writing test, will be divided into two modules, module 1 and module 2. Both have equal time, 32 minutes, 32 minutes, and both have equal questions. So 27 questions, but in module 1, you will be getting mix of easy, medium and hard question. And depending on your performance on module 1, your questions of module 2 will be decided. And if you do very well here, you will be getting slightly difficult questions. If you do not that well here, so you will be getting comparatively easier questions. So the question in module 2 vary according to your performance in module 1. And there will be total, talking about both modules, there will be total 54 questions. And now what other changes are there? So you will be getting more time on average to answer each question. So you will be getting more time on average to answer each question. So how long will you be getting? So to be precise, you will be getting 1.19 minutes to do each question, which was not that in your previous SAT test. And now talking about question type, 2 questions from each module remain unevaluated. So out of 27 questions, 2 questions from 2 different modules will be unevaluated, means they will not be evaluated or they will not be marked. So but which question will not be marked, we don't know. It could be any question, but out of 27, 2 questions will be unmarked in both modules. That means you will not be getting score of those 4 questions from each module, 2 questions. You will be only getting score for 25 questions, but you have to face all 27 questions in both sections. And then, so obviously the next change is you receive score faster. So in past you used to get your score or result within after a few weeks, but now you'll be getting scores in few days. And then the good thing is the reading and writing sections passes are significantly shorter and more numerous. So that means you will not be getting long passages, you will be getting short passages, and each passage will have 1 question. So that means it will make your task easy to find out or to know where to read, because in past you used to get a long passage and you used to get a number of questions based on that passage and you had to find where to go and read. But now there will be 1 question, 1 passage. So that means your task has become easier regarding which passage to read or paragraph to read. So as I said already, a single question is associated with each passage. So you will be getting 1 question associated with 1 passage. So that means you don't have to go to another passage to find the answer of that particular question. So these are the few changes or good changes that has happened in digital SAT. But the major one is you will be taking test on computer. And now what are the similarities? So as I already said previously where I showed you the box, so the scoring will remain same. There is no difference in scoring. So you can see there measures. So this SAT measures the skills and knowledge that students are learning in school and that matter most for college and career readiness. So it is testing the same thing. It is testing whether you have learned properly in your school or not and whether you are ready to go to college or not. And now talking about marking. So it is scored on the same scale, 400 to 600. So to be precise, reading and writing will be judged from 200 to 800 and maths will be judged from 200 to 800. So even though if you do not attempt any question, you will be getting 200 both in reading and writing and math as well. But if you want to go beyond that, you definitely have to do good. So that is why you need to understand the concept of what kind of question will come, how to deal with them, what are the strategies to find the correct answers. And again, administer with a proctor. Proctor means there will be invigilator while you are taking test. You are not taking test on your own. There will be someone to invigilate you. So these are some few similarities. And the other thing is, so those students who need special care or who have different abilities, so they can ask for support according to the ask for support or ask for accommodation. For example, if someone is visually impaired or someone is physically disabled, so in such cases they might need certain supports. So still the test will provide such kind of support, but you have to show your evidence regarding you need such kind of accommodations. Now let's move on to categories or domains of question. So from this particular phase onwards, I'll be only talking about the portion of English that is reading and writing, and I'm talking about now question types. So the question types are divided into 4 domains, and out of 4 domains, 2 domains they belong with reading only, and 2 domains they belong primarily with writing. So this is the type of question categories that I think you should know, because this will help you to do your answer quickly. Because when you see the question, first of all you need to find out under which category this question falls or under which domain this question falls, and then you have to use the strategy accordingly. So the first domain which primarily deals with reading is craft and structure. Craft and structure is the first domain which we find in digital SAT. So From craft and structure, there will be 13 to 15 questions, and this total accounts for 28% of the total question in English reading and writing. And in this craft and structure, so what you are doing is it determines the meaning of high utility academic words, phrases in context, evaluate text rhetorically, and make supportable connection between multiple related text. So this is what craft and structure will be doing. So this might look big, but later on I'll show you questions. So when you see the questions, you'll get to know, okay, so this test or this particular domain is going to evaluate this particular thing. So if you want to read it. So it determine the meaning of high utility academic words and phrases in context, evaluate text rhetorically, and make supportable connection between multiple text related. So this is the first domain or first category that we find in reading and writing digital SAT test. So craft and structure, 13 to 15 questions, which account for 28% of total questions in English portion. And second category or domain, which again deals with reading, is information and ideas. So from this particular domain, you will be getting 12 to 14 questions. So this total accounts for 26%. And in this case, so it will be testing use, locate, interpret, and evaluate information from the various text and infographics. So it will be testing all these things. Again, I'll show the questions of this particular question type later on, which will make you clear about what it exactly tests. And now third is expression of ideas. So this primarily deals with writing, expression of ideas, and from this category or domain, you'll be getting 12 to 14 questions, which accounts for 26% of total. So in this particular domain, they will be using revision skills and knowledge to improve the effectiveness of written expression to accomplish specific rhetorical goals. And now the last domain is standard English convention, from which you will be getting 8 to 12 questions only, and this is the 20% of total. And in this particular domain, so use editing skills. So you have to use editing skills and knowledge to make text conform to core convention of standard English sentence structure, usage, and punctuation. So these are the 4 domains that we find in English reading and writing digital SAT in digital SAT portion. So the first one is craft and structure, 13 to 15 questions, 28%. You can make note according to your choice. And second one is information and ideas, so 12 to 14 questions, which accounts for 26% of total. And the third is expression and ideas, 12 to 14%, again 26%, 12 to 14 questions, 26%. And standard English convention, 8 to 12, lowest, to 20%. So now let's go into what kind of question comes under craft and structure category or domain. So what type of question do we get to face in craft and structure? So the first question type you will find is vocabulary question, which also means word in context, and in this case you have to fill up. So there will be a reading passage or paragraph, and there will be blank somewhere in between, middle, or at the end, and you need to fill up with the correct word which fits there. And the question may come like this: which choice completes the text with the most logical? So you can see this particular part has been enlarged a bit, or is bigger than this particular text. So which choice completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase? So now we have 4 options: jarring, scholarly, melodic, personal. So you need to choose one most fitting word which suits in our passage. So you get passage like this. So you can see here, if you want to read, you can read the passage. So you can see blank over here, and which word fits here, you need to fill up or you need to choose one from the given question. So now you read the text. So the text says, in recommending Bao Fee's collection song I Sing, a librarian noted that pieces by the spoken word poet don't lose their dash, ABCD, nature when printed, the language that has the same, the language that, so let's go with the text first. So the text says, in recommending Bao Fee's collection song I Sing, a librarian noted that Pieces by the spoken word poet don't lose their dash. So ABCD, which fits in here. Dash nature when printed. The language has the same pleasant musical quality on the page as it does when performed by Fee. So which choice completes the text with the most logical and precise word or phrase. So you need to choose one which particularly fits there, and our options are jarring, scholarly, melodic, so personal context. So you will be reading the text and finding out which word fits here. So you read the text, you find the context and choose one that logically fits there. So you are filling up the given blank. So this is one kind of word in context or vocabulary question that you find in craft and structure domain. Second, again, word in context, same question type, but this time you have to find synonym. So now read, as used in the text, what does the word quality? So quality has been kept in this this quotation mark. So as used in the text, what does the word quality most nearly mean? Characteristic, standard, prestige, accomplishment. So now we will be getting text like this. You can see I have highlighted the word quality with red color and made it bigger. So now you need to find out the synonymous word that fits instead of quality in this case. So that's why we call it word in context synonym. So now you can read the text. So it says, the following text is from F. Scott Fitzgerald's 1925 novel The Great Gatsby. So J. Gatsby was balancing himself on the dashboard of his car with that resourcefulness of movement that is so peculiarly American, that comes, I suppose, with the absence of lifting work in youth, and even more with the formless grace of our nervous sporadic games. This quality was continually breaking through his careful manner in the shape of restlessness. So what does this quality mean, or which word can be replaced instead of quality has been given there. So as used in text, what does the word quality most nearly mean? So you need to find the correct synonym. So in previous question, you were filling up the most appropriate word in the context. This time you are finding the synonym or similar word that can replace quality here. So that one was filling up, this one was finding a synonym. Now next question type you find in a craft and structure domain is text structure and purpose function. So this is simply purpose question. So you read the question, you will get to know why it is a purpose question. So it says, which choices ABCD out of ABCD, which choice best describes the overall purpose of the text? So you can see purpose has been highlighted and made bigger than the other words. So which choices describe overall purpose of the text? ABCD. A. To explain what motivated Algarin to found the New Yorkian Poets Cafe, to situate the New Yorkian Poets Cafe within the cultural life of New York as a whole, to discuss why the New Yorkian Poets Cafe expanded its scope to include art and music, to provide an overview of the founding and mission in the New Yorkian poets. And you'll be getting text like this. So after reading text, you need to find out which choice best describe the overall purpose of the text. And you can read the text if you want. So in 1973, poet Miguel Algarin started inviting other writers who, like him, were New Yorkian, a term for New Yorkers from Puerto Rican heritage, to gather his apartment to present their work. The gatherings were so well attended that Algarin soon had to rent space in a cafe to accommodate them. Thus, the New Yorkian Poet Cafe was born. Moving to the permanent location in 1981, the New Yorkian Poets Cafe expanded its original scope beyond the written word, hosting art exhibitions and musical performances as well. Half a century since its inception, it continues to foster emerging New Yorkian talent. So which choice best describe the overall purpose of the text? You have options. So we can see this is the purpose question from craft and structure. So the question is text structure and purpose function, especially purpose. Now we are going for sentence function question. So sentence underlined. So there will be a passage, a reading paragraph, and a sentence will be underlined, and you need to find the function of the underlined sentence. So question is like this: which choice best describe the function of the underlined portion in the text as a whole? So A, it suggests that Sakti feels uncomfortable near the river. It indicates that Sakti has lost her sense of direction in the woods. It emphasizes Sakti's sense of belonging in the landscape. It conveys Sakti's appreciation for her long-term friendship. So you'll be getting text like this, you can see. So this particular sentence has been underlined. So you need to find what function does this underlined sentence serve. So the following text is from Srimati Savarna Kumari Devi's 1894 novel The Fatal Garland, translated by A. Christina Alberts in 1910. Sakti was walking near a river bank that she visited frequently during her childhood. She crossed the woods she knew so well. The trees, now our underlined sentence has begun. The trees seemed to extend their branches like welcoming arms. They greeted her as an old friend. Soon she reached the riverside, and you have these options. So now you need to find what this particular underlined sentence is. What function does this underlined section has or sentence has? Next question will be like this. So you will be getting two paragraphs. So it says cross text connection or dual text also. So you will be getting text 1 and text 2 like this. There will be two paragraphs and you will be getting question like this. So based on the text 1, text 2, how would Carla and colleagues who are in text 2 most likely describe the view of theorist presented in the text 1? So you'll be getting again options like this. So we get multiple choice question with 4 options and you get text like this. So you can see Carla and her friends over here. So it is saying something about theorist, it is saying something about Carla and her colleagues. Now the text is asking how would Carla and colleague text 2 most likely to describe the view of theorist present in text 1. So there is a view of theorist in text 1 and how would they react. So by reading these two texts you have to find the answer and choose one. So now we are moving to next category or domain, which also falls under reading, especially reading, information and ideas category. So now this time you'll get question like this. So this question is also known as conclusion question. So which choice most logically completes the text? So there are A, B, C, D, 4 options and you will be getting question like this. So text like this. So there will be a text or passage or paragraph and at last the last sentence will have a blank. So the scientists therefore imply that. So now you are completing this particular blank from this option and you are concluding it in a good manner. So simply you are finding the conclusion for the given text according to the text. So now you just read here, it clearly says which choice most logically completes. So when your question says logically completes, it's conclusion question. And now next question type is retrieval inferential, or you can call it true question also. So your question will have true word in it here. According to the text, what is true about mother? A, B, C, D. What is true about mother? A, B, C, D. So you'll be getting text like this. So you read the text and what is true you find out by reading options. And the other question is main idea or central idea. Again, you read question, you will get to know what type of question it is. So which choice best states the main idea of the text? So again, A, B, C, D. So you read the text and read options and find out which one best states the main idea, which can replace, which is the thematic idea of the given text. And one more question type which also fall under reading is claims. So you will be getting question like this. Which quotation from Ghost of Old Year most effectively illustrate the claim? So the claim word is obviously there. So you can see claim word over there. So which quotation from Ghost of the Old Year most effectively illustrate the claim? So you'll be getting no. All right. So look. So you'll be getting text like this. Ghost of the Old Year is an early 1900s poem by James Weldon Johnson. In poem, the speaker describes experiencing an ongoing cycle of anticipation followed by regretful reflection. Now, which quotation from Ghost of the Old Year most effectively illustrate the claim? So this claim from into here, you can see. So in the poem, the speaker described experiencing an ongoing cycle of anticipation followed by regular reflection. So this claim is illustrated by which one of the given options we need to find out. And your options come like this in poetic form. So these are the quotation from poem. So you need to read this poem and you have to find which which particular quotation from the poem or which option uh, supports this particular claim or supports this particular sentence. So now next question type is command of evidence, and this time it is just textual. So you will be getting question like this: which finding from the model tests, if true, would most strongly support, you can see support over there, most strongly support Gimsa and colleagues hypothesis ABCD. So you need to read the text. So Gima, Robert and Ulrich have hypothesized that the sail-like structure running down to the back of dinosaur something is there. So now after reading this, you have to find which finding from the model test, if true, would most strongly support Gimsa and colleague hypothesis. Again, you need to read this and find the textual evidence which supports. And the next question type, or I think this is the last question type under this particular domain, that is command of evidence. So the previous was command of evidence textual, this time command of evidence quantitative, because here you get graph like this, data like this, and there will be a text and you have to find the answer. So you can see the graph, it is the table says 27, 9, 67, you can see rows and columns and certain things are written over there. And with the table or with the graph, you will be getting this kind of text, and your text will ask you, so Georgia Tech robotics, D. Arya Bryant and someone, along with ethicist Jason someone, were interested in people's perception of robots' competence. They recruited participants and asked them how likely they think it is that a robot could do work required in various occupations. Participants' evaluations varied widely depending on which occupation was being considered. For example, so now by reading this, by reading this particular picture or graph and reading this, you need to find the answer according to the given questions. Which choice most effectively uses data from the table to complete the examples? So which choice most effectively uses data from the table to complete the examples? So you read the table and you read this particular text, and which of the option will complete the example you have to find out. So these are the question types that we find in first two domains, which mainly focus on reading. And one more time, so you can see command of evidence quantitative, command of evidence quantitative, commands of evidence textual, claims, central or main idea, retrieval references or true question, conclusion. They all fall under information and ideas category, which primarily deals with reading. And the other category is cross connection, dual text. So you'll be getting two kind of text, and a sentence function or purpose question. They both fall under text structure and purpose function question. And the next is word in context synonym, word in context fill up. So these are the question types that we face under primarily reading. And when we say primarily reading, so we are talking about two domains: craft and structure, information and ideas. So I hope you got the basic idea about what we get to face in digital SAT, especially in reading and writing section, even though I have only talked about reading section only today in brief. So next class I'll be talking about what type of question fall under other two categories in terms of writing, and after that we'll be dealing with each category, and with each category we'll be talking about each question type that falls under that particular category, and we'll also discuss about how to strategically solve those questions, how to find correct answer, or at least how to go near to correct answer, or how can we get as much score as possible in English reading and writing. Thank you very much.